People forget how good of a fighter Keith was. It's like now they just kind of,
Keith's in a position now where I think if anything we'll see his intelligence over anything else that he has to offer the boxing game. We love the power, but at some point, if you're not focused on the power, you're not continuing to grow your power and things of that nature. That was Keith's thing, like since we were kids. And once that goes away, I've learned that as a pro, watching other pros. When you can't keep up with the hand speed or somebody stronger, here is where you win the fight. You know what I mean? So who do we see do it the most? Bernard Hopkins.
Floyd during his time.
Yeah, I'm not saying Keith is Bernard, but when we talk about some of the smarter boxers in the game, we should talk about Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
We the best, I ain't seeing no threats. 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 Look here.
What's up, fight fans? Mainman Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. What up to the fam? What up to everyone in Mainman Mademan's boxing forum on Facebook? Hey, keep a third eye open for the Red Corner, new boxing animated series rolling right here on Mainman Mademan's boxing. Hey, look, the thing is this, fight fans. I'm listening to a recent interview done by Showtime Shawn Porter, in which Shawn Porter is explaining what he sees in Keith Thurman today, which I think he's given a really good, vivid account of, and that's something that boxing fans should definitely take note of. We know that Keith Thurman is still in the mix of this, fight fans, wherever he's going to land at on his next fight. We do know that Keith is still in the mix amongst all of the top welterweights, and there's no telling who Keith Thurman may pop up and fight next, or within his next two fights. But we do know that a lot of fight fans nowadays, especially after the performance we've seen from Barrios, him not being able to stop a smaller fighter in Mario Barrios, we've seen Tank Davis do it. A lot of people look at Keith and say, well, Keith may not be who Keith once was. And a lot of people are questioning Keith's ability to be able to perform against the top welterweights and saying that they don't think he can compete. But Shawn Porter, like I said, he's given a good-ass, vivid account of what he sees in Keith Thurman today, and I got to agree with him. And what he's almost explaining is what I always give as an analysis to say Michael Jordan. Well, if you're giving me the 1989 version of Michael Jordan, you had one version. But you give me the 1996 version of Michael Jordan, and you had another version. However, both versions were capable of winning championships. And that's something with Keith Thurman you got to understand. When you have a fighter like Keith who has layers to his game, meaning that if one area can't perform as well as it used to, maybe another area can perform better than it used to. And in Keith's instance, where, okay, the power is gone. He was once upon a time Keith, one-time Thurman, known for getting folks up out of there. But now it seems like, well, I don't know if that power is still the same. Maybe due to aging, maybe due to injuries, inactivity, whatever you want to call it. But it don't seem like it's what it once was. And so if he's not as strong or as big of a puncher as he once was, what are other things that Keith Thurman can do? And Keith Thurman has one of the best boxing brains in boxing. He not only can explain the fight game real well, but he also can execute different things of the fight game very well. We've seen that over the years. If you look at Keith's performances, even though he's not winning them on sheer power no more, his boxing ability always still looks intact. Now, I think his defense has taken a hit over the last couple years more than anything. That and the fact that maybe some of the injuries have piled up on him, and he's not as fast and he can't move as well as he used to when he was a bit younger. Maybe and he maybe can't even pull the trigger as good as he used to due to the different surgeries he's had. But he still can gather some of those strengths, at least what they are to be now. You know, whatever his power is now, whatever his movement is now, he can still take all of those things and execute them and turn them on and turn them off at certain points of the fight. That's what having a boxing brain is about, fight fans. Not going in there just, let me show everything in 2 rounds. No. I got to spread this out. I'm going to give him a little bit here, a little flash there, a little flash there, enough to pull the fight off. That's what we seen from Bernard Hopkins in his later years. And a lot of other older fighters. You thinking like George Foreman or anybody like that. These dudes got older and physically they got they were probably lesser men than they were when they were younger. But due to the knowledge of the fight game and all of the situations they've been through in the ring, they made their brain develop stronger. And when they see certain things in that ring, they know how to react to it different, better. They know exactly how to react, as opposed to when they were younger. And they had to, well, how do I react to this? Or what do I do when I see this? What happens when I get hurt? That's how we learn from a lot of these young fighters. When they get hurt, can they recover? A lot of people see how good fighters is offensively and think that every area of boxing is covered because you got a good offensive fighter. That's not always the case. He may not be that good on defense. He might can't take a punch. You know what I'm saying? And Keith Thurman has shown, despite being knocked down, despite being hurt, hurt in his last fight from a fighter moving up in weight, hurt to the body, still having to take his mouthpiece out of his mouth. But he's still showing ways to survive, not go down, not lose no fights. He's really lost to no modern really welterweights. He lost to a legend in Manny Pacquiao. But a lot of these folks may see his weakness. And this is what I always say about Keith. But can you get to that weakness? Can you expose that weakness? Because Keith can do other things too. And he knows when to move. He knows when to pull the trigger. He knows when to get in and out. He ain't going to do it consistently every round, no. But he'll do it enough to try to get those judges. And if you let too many of them pile up on you, then it might be night-night. But that's Keith. So we'll see if Shawn Porter's words ring true. You know what I'm saying? And we'll see if what he's saying is on the money. I believe it is. It's like he's saying that you got a Keith Thurman who can think his way out of situations, think his way through big fights, and rely more on his boxing knowledge and what he sees in that ring and how he reacts to it better now. That's what I hear Shawn Porter explain. If I'm going wrong, let me know, fight fans. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Share.